Hi, and welcome to the channel. I'm Lindsay from Sweet and Sour Firsties. If you're new here, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe for tons of weekly back-to-school tips and tricks to help make it your best school year ever. This week is all about 5 easy tips for successful parent-teacher conferences. When you walk away, you're gonna have your toolbox full of easy and effective ideas to help with parent-teacher conferences. We all know that can be a really stressful time of year. We have to stay late. Sometimes we have to get to school early. Sometimes they're not always the best of conferences. So that's why I'm here, to help give you easy ideas. Our first tip of the week is to plan ahead. This is a really important tip. You've got to make sure that you have everything printed, copied, filled out, organized. Everything that you need, make sure you have it all ready to go so that when conferences come, you're not scrambling and searching for information. This will help you, this will help families. One thing I like to do to make it easy is to create student folders. I have the students decorate their own cover, and this is something that they get to take home. So all the information that we share and discuss, I include everything in there for them so they can digest it later. If they're taking it and it's just too much at the time, they can have everything they need in case they have questions or follow-ups. Some things I like to include is how students are doing academically. So we include district assessments for students, in-classroom assessments, some student work samples, some goal setting that the students have done with you, as well as notes for yourself too. I use this template when I'm filling out notes. This just kind of helps me guide the conversation and make sure I bring up all the important points that I want to talk to parents about. Sometimes this is one of the only times that they're in the classroom we have this designated uninterrupted time together. So make sure that you plan ahead. Tip number 2 is to involve students. So you already heard me say, I like to goal set with students ahead of time and share that form with the families. I also like to have them decorate their own folder cover like I mentioned. It just makes it a little bit more personable for the families, and it's something again that they can take home and enjoy. Some other ways that you can involve students is you can have them create a project. We've done a QR code project where they read a little script and they share something positive with their families that we leave on their desk. Again, it's decorated to look like them, and then the families can go and listen to their child. One thing that we like to do at the end of the year for conferences is we like to have student-led conferences. The students and the families really enjoy this, and it's a great way to celebrate all their hard work throughout the year and have students have a stake in their education because it's all about them anyways. Tip number 3 is to create a welcoming environment for families. Before I get into these next tips, I want to start by saying that parents are your biggest partner in their child's journey. They are so important for their child. No one has a bigger stake in this game than them. So create that welcoming environment. Help them feel welcome. Make sure you greet each family at the door and welcome them. I also like to close the door and put a sign on the door that says conference is in progress so that no one interrupts us. You want to create that positive environment that's distraction free. Sometimes families have to bring siblings along to the conference. If they do, just put out some quiet toys, coloring, books from your library so that, again, they're not distracting the parents either. Some other things I would encourage you to do is make sure that everything is cleaned up and organized. If that means you have to shove something in a cabinet or a closet during those nights, then do it. But you want to create that positive space, that clean space, everything looks organized, have lots of student work on display. Help them feel excited for what they're going to learn about their children while they're there in the classroom. If you want to get really fancy, you can play some calming music, you can have water, you can have snacks. Again, you don't feel like you have to do those things. If you want to try to get families to donate to that too, you can. That's just an added bonus. Again, do not feel like you have to do that, but it's just a few more things you can do to help families feel welcome and kind of take that edge off. We know that some kids have a harder time than others, and parents may already feel anxious before even walking into your classroom. So just kind of help alleviate that stress for them a little bit more. One more tip I'm going to leave you with that is very helpful is sit on the same side as parents. Don't sit behind a desk away from them. Again, make them feel like you guys are in this together, and you can easily do that by sitting next to them. Our next tip is to start with the positive. Again, this is really important. I'm going to go back to something that I said before. Some of those parents already feel anxious before even coming into your room. Help them alleviate that stress by starting with the positive. This is a time to celebrate what students are doing well. Even the tiniest thing. It could be socially, it could be behaviorally, it could be academically. But think of something positive for each of those children before getting into the hard topics like assessments and how students are progressing throughout the year. And if you take the time to write those comments on that note catcher, you can even save those and use them for report card time. Our district, we always have to write a comment for each student. Make it easy for yourself and already have it done so that when report cards come, bam, good to go. Parents have already heard it if they've met with you, and you don't have to do extra work. One thing that I like to do with parents that helps a lot is the positive sandwich. You start with the positive, then you can embed some crucial feedback that they might need to hear about their child, and then again, end with the positive. Here's an example of this. Johnny is doing really well with his letter sounds and his letter formation. However, he's really struggling to write incomplete sentences and to space his words apart. But we have set a goal for this, and here are some tools that I have in place to support him. And here's what you can do at home. So again, you're letting them know what he's doing really well at. You're letting him know what he needs to work on, letting them know that you have a goal, and here's what they can do to support that too. And this can be done with a lot of different things, behaviorally, socially, whatever it is the students are struggling with. If you let them know what is going well, it's going to be much more well received than if you just say, here's all the things that Johnny needs to work on. That's going to be hard to hear. During this time with parents, do not surprise them. We know that conferences typically start to happen in October. If you've waited until October to let them know important data or what's going on behaviorally, that's too late. You've got to let them know ahead of time. This should not be dropping a bomb on them with all these things wrong. We want to keep those lines of communication open. And with that, I also want to say, make sure before conferences start that you have reached out to every family with something positive. I like to use this to help with families. This sets the stage with your families. Again, the first time you're reaching out to them should not be for something negative. We want to build that foundation, and they are our partners in this relationship. We need them on board too. And if you start with the positive, then it's going to be easier for them to hear the negative later on. You can also grab this for free in the description below. Our next tip is to create an action plan together. Say it with me. These parents are our partners in this journey. We need them on board. We need their support too. So make sure, leave time for questions for them. They need to have a voice in this too. You can even send home a form ahead of time with families if you want to give them space to think about and process what they want to know too. Do you have to do that? Absolutely not, but you can if you want to. But then when it comes down to everything you've discussed, all the positive things we need to work on, now it's time to make an action plan together. Think about a SMART goal, something that's measurable, something that's attainable, that's easy to show the progress, work towards. Again, the student should be involved in this too, so maybe ahead of time, you and the student set a goal together, and then that same goal can be shared with families, see if they want to tweak anything, see if they want to change anything. What is most important to them too? How do we need to help this child succeed? And don't forget to follow up too. After you've set this goal together, now follow up. How is Johnny progressing towards this goal? How can the parents help at home? These are ways to keep that door open and continue fostering that relationship throughout the year and saying, hey, I need your help with this. We're in this together. I know conferences are really stressful. It is a very stressful time of the year. Sometimes you do have to have really hard conversations with families. Don't feel like you have to do it alone. Grab anybody in the building who can support you. Your principal, your coach, teammate. This is not something that you have to do alone. There's someone that can be there to support you. And if you're feeling anxious, please include someone else so that you're not doing this by yourself. And know that I'm here with you too. Whatever you need, I'm here to help you. I've done all the hard work for you to make conferences as easy as they can be. Check out this bundle. It includes everything we discussed and even more to help conferences be the best that they can be. And you can continue to use it for years to come. You can grab that now in the description below, and it is a must-have to help you totally rock parent-teacher conferences. I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. Again, if you need help, if you have questions, please let us know in the comments. We're here for you. Conferences are a lot, but know that you're not in it alone. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you're new here, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe for tons of weekly back to school tips and tricks. I'll see you next week.